Is Wole Soyinka dead or is still alive? Details. Razak Ghana, the 2021 Nobel laureate for literature, claiming that Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka had died. The report that few hours ago news appeared from an account purportedly belonging to Razak Ghana, the 2021 Nobel laureate for literature, claiming that Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka had died. I got a call from Nigeria. The message says, Wole Soyinka passed away unexpectedly just a few minutes ago. It's bad news. In a short time, the post received over 150 retweets and 250 likes. When the cable reached out to his family, his son, Ilemaki, shrugged it off. Since last week, the rumor has been circulating. Last I checked, Soyinka was still alive, he said. The account that made the message has 14,000 followers and was formed in August 2021. The BBC had linked the phony account in its announcement of Ghana's Nobel Prize trial on Friday, but Nigerian author Lola Shoneye quoted the tweet, posting out that Ghana is not a Twitter member. During my recent brief conversation with Professor Abdul, he indicated that I am not a Twitter user. Please keep this in mind. The message continues. The message is Wole Soyinka truly dead or he is still alive? The popular Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka, who has won so many Nobel Prizes, is he dead or is still alive? A post came up by Razak Ghana, the 2021 Nobel laureate for literature, claiming that the Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka had died. But his son shrugged it off, saying that the news has been circulating that last he checked, Soyinka was still alive. That they should keep in mind that the account was not for Professor Razak Ghana, as he indicated that he is not a Twitter user. The account that made the message had 14,000 followers and was formed in August 2021. The Nobel Prize winner, Wole Soyinka, is he dead or is still alive? This is coming when the day Wole Soyinka won the Nobel Prize. In October 1986, Lars Gellerstein, the then permanent secretary of the Swedish Academy, gave a press release. Here is an excerpt. This year's Nobel Prize in Literature goes to an African writer, Wole Soyinka from Nigeria. He has a large varied literary production behind him and is in his prime as an author. On the day Wole Soyinka was announced as the winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature, he was in Paris, preparing for a meeting of the International Theatre Institute, where he served as the president. He flew in from New York the night before, where he was working on the production of his play, Death and King Osman. He must not have been expecting that, because he had been nominated for the award many times without winning. The news went around the world. History had been made. A black man had attained the world's highest literary honor. Everyone wanted to speak to him. The press were after him. His office was filled with a sea of people who wanted to congratulate him. Talking about his experience, on the day the news was announced, Professor Wole Soyinka said, "I was like a red meat thrown into a pack of wolves." Later that day, Wole Soyinka gave a banquet speech. He wore a sand-colored dashiki made from ashoke over a dark sweat top. He started his speech saying, "It was inevitable that the Nordic world and the Africa, especially that part of it which constitutes the Yoruba world, should meet at the crossroads of Sweden. That I am the agent of such a symbolic encounter is due very simply to that microwave muse in Ogun. the god of creativity and destruction, of the lyric and mythology. This deity anticipated the scientist Alfred Nobel at the very beginning of time by clearing a path through primordial chaos, dynamiting his way through the core of the earth to open a route for his fellow deities who sought to be reunited with us, mortals. I covered that event for my publishers, well, taking a few poetic licenses naturally under the title Idore. While congratulating him, fellow Nigerian writer Shina Achebe said, "What was important was that one of us has proved that we can beat the white man at his own game." The popular novel writer Wole Soyinka, who has been winning series of novel prizes, is he truly dead or is still alive? But his son was saying the last time he checked, he is still alive. Shina Achebe versus Wole Soyinka, who is the best novelist in Africa? Albert Shinalumogu Achebe was a Nigerian professor, author, educator, poet, critic, novelist, and essayist. He was born on the 16th of November 1930 in Igbo village, Ogidi, Anambra State. Actually, Achebe was a precocious child in primary and secondary school before he went to University of Ibadan in 1950 to study English, history, and theology. He perused so many foreign literature books and wrote so many essays and short stories before he graduated from the University of Ibadan. In 1954 to 1957, Achebe worked in Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation as Director of External Broadcasting. In 1958, the literary luminary Achebe wrote Things Fall Apart, and his first novel was a remarkable book, and it became the best African novel in history. Things Fall Apart is known all over the world, and the novel was translated into 150 languages in the world. Things Fall Apart made Achebe the most translated African writer of all time. The novel is studied widely in Africa, Europe, and America. Things Fall Apart sold over 12 million copies worldwide. Ernest Enyoyomi, a professor of African Studies at the University of Michigan in United States of America, said, Achebe's Things Fall Apart in 1958 drew universal attention that established the art of the modern African novel. In 1960, Achebe wrote No Longer at Ease. In 1962, he wrote The Sacrificial Egg and other short stories. In 2008, he wrote Uncle Ben's Choice, and in 2010, Achebe was rewarded. This news is coming in when they say, is Wole Soyinka truly dead or is still alive? Thank you, my listeners, for listening. Do have a good day.